3:11 hours, Yellow Sea. January 18th, 2025. The sky was dark, wind at 28 knots. A low ceiling of cloud pressed down over the sea, thick, cold, and silent. The U.S. Air Force RC-135V rivet joint, call sign Raven 21, flew at 29,000 feet, conducting an electronic reconnaissance sweep along the edge of the North Korean air defense zone. The mission was routine, quiet, predictable, until it wasn't. At 3:13 hours, according to unverified ELINT logs reviewed by Global Warfare Report, a high-energy radar spike hit the rivet joint's portside sensors. Not a search beam, not a tracking sweep, a lock-on. Crew in the cabin stiffened. "That's not ours," the flight engineer muttered, eyes glued to the threat display. 3:14 hours. A silhouette cut through the clouds, sleek, angular, unmistakable. A North Korean MiG-29 Fulcrum, climbing hard from the east. The pilot pushed to within 150 meters of the RC-135, banking left, afterburners roaring so hot the American crew could feel vibration through the cabin. This wasn't shadowing. This was harassment. It was deliberate. "He's inside our bubble," the navigator warned. According to unverified radio intercepts, the MiG pilot broadcast a chilling message over a restricted military frequency. "U.S. aircraft, you are violating airspace. Leave at once or be engaged." The statement was not authenticated by the Pentagon, but 3 independent monitors reported hearing the same phrase. 3:15 hours. The Fulcrum rolled inverted above the U.S. aircraft, belly exposed, missiles clearly visible. The Americans identified 2 R-27 air-to-air missiles under the wings and R-73 short-range heaters on the wingtips, both live, both armed. Chatter inside the ER. C-135 intensified, fast and clip. "Keep him visual, maintain altitude, do not respond." The mission commander, Lieutenant Colonel Harris, kept his voice calm enough to control fear, not eliminate it. 3:16 hours. The MiG pilot dropped to the RC-135 starboard side and flared hard, blasting a sheet of hot exhaust directly across the American aircraft's nose. A harassment tactic, often used to destabilize airflow. Dangerous, reckless. At that altitude, one mistake meant disaster. The U.S. crew's hands hovered over countermeasures, but they knew the rules. The rivet joint is unarmed. Any escalation could draw fire. 3:17 hours. Electronic warfare alarms screamed. The MiG's radar signature surged again. "He's painting us." Hard lock, the crew began compiling telemetry snapshots. Standard protocol whenever a hostile aircraft locks onto a U.S. asset. Those records might never be seen publicly, but inside the cabin, they meant one thing. North Korea was pushing the envelope. 3:18 hours. Command reached the RC-135 via secure channel. PACOM had been alerted. 2 U.S. F-16s from the 8th Fighter Wing at Kunsan Air Base were scrambled, but they were 11 minutes out. The rivet joint was alone. The MiG began a sudden climb, sharp, aggressive, before diving again directly toward the RC-135's nose. The closure rate hit 600 knots. The collision alarms triggered. Brake, brake, brake. The American pilot dipped the nose 5 degrees, keeping control, refusing to provoke a collision. The MiG missed by less than 70 meters. 3:19 hours. According to sources within a regional surveillance center, the MiG pilot executed a guns pass, swinging his nose across the RC-135 as if preparing to fire. The Americans could see the cannon port. That single moment caused the rivet joint crew to believe they were seconds away from being shot down. The mission commander whispered, "He's testing us. He wants a mistake." This was psychological warfare at 29,000 feet. Meanwhile, ground-based radar from South Korea and Japan tracked every movement. Military analysts later described the entire encounter as the closest near miss in the Yellow Sea since 2017. 3:20 hours. The MiG settled in directly beside the U.S. aircraft. Too close, too calm, too precise. Almost like he was posing for the cameras he knew were recording inside the rivet joint. Then, without warning, the MiG broke right, climbed rapidly, and disappeared into cloud cover. But the danger was not over. Inside the RC-135, crew began receiving scrambled digital noise across multiple channels. Another indication North Korea was running an electronic warfare test, attempting to jam surveillance links and communication streams. "Sir, comm degradation. the communications officer reported. Severe interference. For 5 long minutes, the aircraft was partially cut off from higher command. No link to Kunsan. Limited link to Yokota. A dangerous scenario. 3:24 hours. The jamming suddenly stopped, just as quickly as it had begun. Sensors reported multiple unknown returns entering the region. 3 more aircraft. Possibly MiG-29s. Possibly J-16S. Operating from Chinese airspace. This remains unverified, but Signals Intelligence captured unusual cross-border chatter during the incident. Then a new alert appeared. F-16 backup force, 4 minutes away, 3:25 hours. The RC-135 began its evasive exit route south, maintaining altitude, speed, and signal discipline, all while scanning for threats. But before the rivet joint cleared the danger zone, onboard sensors detected one final act. A second radar lock, this time from behind. According to flight logs, the American crew had just 83 seconds to respond, and what followed in those seconds would ignite an international firestorm. 3:26 hours, Yellow Sea. January 18th, 2025. The second radar lock hit the RC-135 like a hammer, hard, sustained, direct. Threat display lit the cabin blood red. Lock confirmed. Bearing 071. Range closing for a split second. Nobody spoke. Then, Lieutenant Colonel Harris gave the calmest order of the night. Hold course. Record everything. The American crew braced. The North Korean pilot had disappeared into the clouds a minute earlier. But now, something else. Someone else was behind them. 0327 hours signal analysis flagged the signature. It wasn't a MiG-29. It was another unknown aircraft, larger radar profile, possibly an early warning platform or a forward control unit. Analysts later suspected a North Korean GCI relay aircraft, but the Pentagon never confirmed it. According to unverified SIGINT data reviewed by Global Warfare Report, the secondary lock was tied to a fire control protocol used for missile queuing, meaning the RC-135 had been handed off to another unit. A coordinated tactic, a trap. Inside the cabin, adrenaline hit like ice. Everyone knew the rule. If a hostile aircraft hands your signature to a controller, the next step is either escort or engagement. 0328 hours. Suddenly, the comms officer shouted, "Link restored! Uplink is stable." Paycom voice cut through the static. Raven 2-1, be advised, 2 F-16 inbound. ETA 2 minutes. Defensive posture only. Do not engage. The message steadied the crew, but tension only grew. 2 minutes in the air felt like 2 years. Sensors showed 3 new blips entering the envelope. Then 4, then 5. The Yellow Sea was coming alive. 0329 hours. Sky lighting up. The RC-135 crew watched as 3 hostile radar cones swept across them in near-perfect synchronization. Harassment had escalated into a show of force. Onboard telemetry showed EW intrusion attempts. Digital pressure probing the RC-135's mission systems. Sir, we're being painted on encrypted channels. Someone's brute forcing telemetry. Protect mission modules. Cycle encryption. The jamming came in waves, like a pulse. Short, controlled, surgical. Analysts later concluded North Korea was testing its newly upgraded Gwangyang Integrated Radar Relay Network, a system designed to coordinate multiple interceptors against high-value targets. At this point, the RC-135 was no longer just being harassed. It was being studied. 0330 hours. The approach. Through the fog, through the scattered clouds, through the tension, the American crew finally saw them. 2 F-16Cs from Kunsan. Call signs Viper 1-1 and Viper 1-3. Their lights flickered once, an identification signal, before they broke formation and accelerated toward the threat vector. Raven 2-1, we have visual. Hold altitude. We're pushing north. The relief in the RC-135 cabin was visible, but it didn't last long. The MiG-29 returned, and this time he brought a wingman. 0331 hours. Close contact. 2 North Korean fighters emerged from cloud cover, diving toward the Americans at high speed. Their formation was tight, predatory. According to an unverified air control recording, 1 North Korean pilot reportedly issued another warning: turn south immediately or face consequences. The Pentagon never acknowledged this transmission, but regional monitoring posts captured snippets that matched the tone and timing. The F-16s moved fast, slicing upward, crossing between the MiGs and the RC-135 in a textbook defensive intercept maneuver. North Korean aircraft. This is U.S. Air Force flight. You are approaching a reconnaissance platform in international airspace. Alter course. No response. Instead, one North Korean pilot fired chaff and magnesium flares in a reckless arc, a hostile gesture meant to intimidate the Americans, dangerously close to the RC-135's flight path. That flare hit our turbulence pocket. He's trying to destabilize us. 0332 hours. Split-second chaos. One MiG dove beneath the RC-135, a suicidal move at that altitude. The F-16s reacted instantly. Viper 1-3 rolled inverted, dropping below the rivet joint, placing his jet directly between the MiG and the U.S. Recon aircraft. A calculated risk, a message. Viper 1-1 opened his side bay, preparing defensive countermeasures. No missiles deployed, only posture, restraint, professional escalation control. Even so, the MiGs closed in, within 300 meters. Then came the turning point. 0333 hours. The Warning 1 F-16 pilot, under strict ROE, issued a final broadcast. North Korean aircraft, break now. You are at risk of collision. You are violating international protocols. Break now. The response was silence, tense, cold. Then the MiG-29 suddenly pitched up, climbed hard, and both fighters vanished into the cloud layers like ghosts. But the real threat wasn't over. 0336 hours. The shadow returns. Ground-based sensors picked up another signature, a larger aircraft approaching from the north, possibly a PLAAFJ-16 from Chinese airspace. This remains unverified, but intelligence logs showed highly unusual cross-border coordination between radar nodes at the exact same minute. The RC-135 crew feared a three-way entanglement, but the new contact stayed at distance, watching, listening. 0338 hours. Exit begins. PACOM ordered Raven 2-1 to break south and exit the zone immediately. F-16ES formed a protective shield. Inside the cabin, the mood shifted from tense to focused. Data had to be saved, logs preserved, systems stabilized. Then came the moment everyone aboard felt. 0340 hours. Contact lost. All hostile signatures vanished within seconds. The Yellow Sea went quiet, too quiet. The RC-135 turned southwest, heading toward Kadena. 0349 hours. Safe airspace. The mission was over. The crew exhaled. The radio logs captured the final sentiment. We got lucky tonight. But intelligence analysts later insisted it wasn't luck. It was restraint, and the fact that one wrong move, one miscalculation, could have triggered a regional crisis no one wanted.